Hey everyone, and welcome back. I got to give a huge shout out to Iceni for sending this research our way.
Oh, yeah.
It's it's amazing stuff. We're diving deep into cholesterol, heart
Yeah.
disease, and the
Yeah.
carnivore diet. And
Yeah.
the science here is really solid.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
But before we really get into it,
Okay.
if you're liking what you're hearing, please hit that subscribe button, give
Yes.
the video a like, and
Absolutely.
don't forget to share it with your friends. Your support really helps us grow and bring you more deep dives like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's unpack this research.
Okay.
The first thing that really jumped out at me was this whole idea of bad cholesterol.
Right.
It's something we hear all the time,
We do.
but this research Iceni sent really challenges that.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's amazing how much that idea is just ingrained in our culture.
It really is.
It's such a simplification, though.
Yeah.
You know, our genes are the primary regulators of cholesterol levels, not really our diet.
Wait, really? I always thought eating like a greasy burger would just send my cholesterol through the roof.
Well, not necessarily.
Okay.
Our bodies have this incredible system for managing it.
Uh-huh.
You know, if we consume more than we need, it gets recycled, stored, or even secreted.
Interesting.
It's not just roaming free in our bloodstream,
Okay.
causing havoc.
Okay, so that already has me rethinking everything I thought I knew about cholesterol.
Right.
But what about all that talk about it causing heart disease?
Right.
That's the lipid heart hypothesis. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually really surprising.
Okay.
The origins of that hypothesis are pretty shaky,
Oh, wow.
even fraudulent,
Really?
which makes you question the whole foundation of it.
That's unsettling.
Yeah.
So if cholesterol isn't the main culprit in heart disease, what is? What's actually happening when plaque builds up in our arteries?
So when you look at the composition of plaque, it's really revealing.
Okay.
Cholesterol makes up a tiny fraction,
Okay.
something like 0.2 to 2%, even in people over 90. The bulk of it is actually scar tissue,
Really?
specifically collagen.
Scar tissue. So it's like little calluses forming inside our arteries.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Wow.
And just like calluses on your skin. These kind of microcalluses develop in response to injury or stress.
Okay.
The key takeaway here is that plaque formation is more about damage than just cholesterol accumulation.
Interesting. So where is this damage happening, and why are these calluses forming in specific areas?
Well, plaque tends to build up on the arterial side of the vascular system, particularly at points where arteries branch or bifurcate.
Uh-huh.
These areas experience higher turbulent blood flow, which puts stress on the artery walls.
I see.
Yeah.
So does that mean high blood pressure?
Right.
Specifically the diastolic pressure
Yes.
that measures pressure between heartbeats
Yeah.
would make that turbulence worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Elevated diastolic pressure can really make that turbulent flow worse.
Yeah.
And contribute to that plaque buildup.
Wow.
Makes you wonder if we're focusing on the right risk factors when we talk about heart health.
That's a big question.
It is.
And it leads us perfectly into the carnivore diet,
Okay.
which is another big part of this research Iceni shared.
Right.
One thing that came up is that people often experience
Right.
negative side effects when they first switch to a carnivore diet. What's going on there?
So a lot of those issues stem from making the transition too quickly.
Okay.
It's like jumping into a freezing cold pool.
Yeah.
Your body needs time to adjust,
Right.
especially to the lower insulin levels that come with a carnivore diet.
So it's not that the diet itself is bad.
No.
It's just that our bodies need time to adapt.
Precisely.
Okay.
Symptoms like fatigue,
Right.
electrolyte imbalances, even digestive issues
Yeah.
can be traced back to that rapid shift.
Yeah.
Gradual transition is key.
Got it.
Yeah.
What about protein intake during that transition?
Right.
Is there anything people should be aware of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Adequate protein is crucial, especially during those early stages.
Okay.
It helps maintain muscle mass,
Hey.
regulate hormones, keep things running smoothly.
Keeps everything running smoothly.
Yeah.
There's also been a lot of talk about the microbiome
Right.
and the importance of good bacteria.
Yeah.
Does a carnivore diet, which eliminates fiber, negatively impact our gut health?
So the microbiome is such a complex system, and the notion of good versus bad bacteria is a bit of a simplification. Our gut flora is amazingly adaptable, constantly evolving based on our diet and lifestyle.
So even though a carnivore diet doesn't include fiber,
Right.
which is often seen as food for our gut bacteria,
Yeah.
it might not be a problem.
That's right.
Okay.
And remember, Humans have a limited ability to digest fiber compared to herbivores.
Right.
There's even some evidence suggesting that maybe we weren't meant to consume
large amounts of fiber in the first place?
Like that 2012 study that found eliminating fiber actually helps some people with constipation.
Exactly. It really challenges the conventional wisdom about fiber and gut health.
It does.
And then you consider some of the potential downsides of fiber. Like diverticulosis, the production of harmful byproducts during fermentation, and the limited way our bodies can utilize short-chain fatty acids.
Wait, you're saying the short-chain fatty acids from fiber?
Yeah.
Even the beneficial ones?
Yeah.
Are only used in a small part of the small intestine.
That's right.
That's so different from the systemic benefits of ketones produced on a carnivore diet.
It is a key distinction. Ketones, produced when your body burns fat for fuel, are utilized throughout the body, providing energy for your brain, muscles, everything. It's a much more efficient system compared to those short-chain fatty acids from fiber. This is all incredibly thought-provoking.
It is!
We've tackled cholesterol, plaque formation, even the microbiome. But what about the plants themselves? Aren't they loaded with essential vitamins and antioxidants?
Plants are definitely complex organisms with a variety of compounds, some beneficial, some potentially harmful. Let's look at sulforaphane in broccoli, for example. It's often touted for activating the NRF2 pathway, which is an antioxidant pathway.
So it's like broccoli is giving our bodies a superhero boost of antioxidants.
Well, it's not quite that simple. Turns out smoking also activates the NRF2 pathway. The reason. Both smoking and sulforaphane actually induce oxidative stress, which then triggers the body to upregulate its own antioxidant defenses. It makes you wonder if activating that pathway through potentially harmful means is really beneficial in the long run.
I'm starting to see that things are a lot more nuanced than they appear.
They are.
So even though broccoli is often considered a superfood, it might not be as straightforward as we think.
Exactly. Sulforaphane is just one example. Plants have a whole arsenal of defense mechanisms, some of which can be problematic for humans.
Like what? What other plant compounds should we be aware of?
There's a whole list. Lectins, phytic acid, oxalic acid, glycoloids, to name a few. These compounds serve different purposes for plants, but they can interfere with nutrient absorption, disrupt cellular processes, and even have neurotoxic effects in humans.
Neurotoxic, as in bad for our brains.
Yes. Some plant compounds, like glycoloids, can be incredibly potent neurotoxins. They're even used in nerve gas.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, eating potatoes won't have those extreme effects, but it highlights the fact that plants aren't inherently harmless.
That's a little unsettling.
It is.
So even though cooking can reduce the toxicity of some compounds, it's impossible to eliminate them completely.
That's right. Cooking can definitely help.
Okay.
But some level of toxicity will always remain.
Okay.
It becomes a risk-benefit analysis.
Right.
If we can get the same nutrients from other sources without those potential downsides, it's something to consider.
So you're suggesting that plants aren't essential for human nutrition?
Oh.
Okay. That we can get everything we need from a carnivore diet without the potential risks of plant toxins?
That's the core idea. A well-formulated carnivore diet can provide all the essential nutrients our bodies need without the potential drawbacks of those plant compounds.
That's a powerful statement.
It is.
So if we're looking for a low-toxicity carbohydrate source, what would you recommend?
If you're aiming for minimal carbs and minimal anti-nutrients, organic, pressure-cooked white basmati rice is a good option.
Good to know. We've covered so much ground already. Cholesterol, plaque formation, the microbiome, now plant compounds. I feel like my whole understanding of nutrition is being flipped on its head. What are your thoughts on all of this?
It's definitely a lot to process.
What
stands out to you so far?
Honestly, what's most surprising is this idea that plants,
Yeah.
which we've always been told are so good for us,
Right.
might actually have some downsides.
Right.
I'm still wrapping my head around that.
It is a significant shift in perspective.
It is.
And it raises some important questions about our relationship with food and our understanding of what constitutes a healthy diet.
We've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
Before we move on to part 2,
Okay.
I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the channel,
Absolutely.
like this video, and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to us and helps us reach a wider audience.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more fascinating insights in part 2.
Sounds good. It's truly remarkable how much our understanding of nutrition is evolving and how much we still have to learn.
I know, right? It's both exciting and a little overwhelming.
Right.
But I gotta admit, the idea of a carnivore diet is really intriguing.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who are curious about it, but not quite ready to dive in head first?
Well, there's always a spectrum when it comes to dietary choices.
Right.
You know, some people thrive on a strict carnivore approach, while others find a more moderate approach.
Okay.
With minimal plant matter works best for them.
So it's all about finding what feels right for your own body and lifestyle.
Exactly.
Okay.
The key is to be informed about the potential benefits and drawbacks of different approaches and make choices that empower you.
I love that.
Yeah.
So for those who are interested in exploring the carnivore diet, where's a good place to start?
A great first step is to simply reduce processed foods,
Okay.
sugary drinks,
Right.
and refined carbohydrates. Those are often the biggest culprits when it comes to inflammation and metabolic issues.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like cleaning up the foundation before building something new.
Right.
What comes next?
Once you've cut back on the junk,
Okay.
start focusing on incorporating more
Okay.
high-quality animal products.
Right.
Things like grass-fed meats,
Okay.
pasture-raised poultry,
Right.
wild-caught fish,
Uh-huh.
and eggs.
So basically prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Whether you're going full carnivore or not.
That's the cornerstone of any healthy diet.
It is.
From there, you can experiment with reducing your plant intake gradually.
Right.
And see how your body responds.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, it's always a good idea to work with a knowledgeable healthcare professional.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially if you have any underlying health conditions, right?
Definitely. They can help you personalize your approach and monitor your progress.
Okay, that all sounds very doable.
Yeah.
But what about cravings?
Right.
How do you deal with that urge to reach for a bag of chips or a cookie
Right.
when you're trying to cut back on carbs?
Cravings are a completely normal part of the process.
Okay.
Especially when transitioning to a lower carb diet.
Right.
It's important to remember those cravings are often driven by hormonal imbalances, particularly insulin resistance.
So it's not just a matter of willpower.
No.
There's a physiological reason behind those intense desires for sugary or starchy foods.
Exactly.
Right.
When your blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing due to a high-carb diet, your body becomes dependent on that influx of glucose.
It's almost like an addiction.
In a way, yes.
Wow.
But the good news is you can break that cycle by stabilizing your blood sugar through dietary changes. As you reduce your carb intake and increase healthy fats and protein, your cravings will naturally diminish.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
So it's not about deprivation.
No.
It's about giving your body the nutrients it needs to function properly.
Exactly.
And when you fuel your body with the right foods, your energy levels increase.
Right,
Your mood stabilizes. And those cravings become much easier to manage.
Absolutely.
It's a win-win. Let's say someone's doing great with their diet, managing their cravings, and feeling good. Are there any other lifestyle factors that can impact their health and well-being?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Diet is just one piece of the puzzle. Sleep, stress management, and regular physical activity all play equally important roles.
So it's about a holistic approach to health.
Precisely. Not just focusing on what we eat.
Think of it like a stool with 3 legs.
Yeah, a great analogy.
Diet, lifestyle, and mindset. If any one of those legs is weak, the whole stool will topple over.
Exactly.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
Let's break down those other 2 legs a bit.
Okay.
What are some key things to keep in mind when it comes to sleep and stress management?
For sleep, consistency is key.
Okay.
Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. And try to establish a regular sleep-wake cycle that aligns with your natural circadian rhythm.
So no more late-night Netflix binges.
Well, maybe just 1 or 2 a week.
Okay.
But seriously, try to create a relaxing bedtime routine. Dim the lights, disconnect from electronic devices, and do some calming activities like reading or taking a warm bath.
Those are good.
Yeah.
What about stress? It seems like everyone is stressed these days.
It does.
What are some effective ways to manage stress levels?
Stress is definitely a part of life.
It is.
But it's how we respond to stress that matters. Mindfulness practices like meditation, deep breathing exercises, and yoga can be incredibly helpful for calming the nervous system and promoting a sense of inner peace.
It's about finding those little pockets of stillness throughout the day.
Exactly.
To counteract all the chaos, right?
Right.
And don't underestimate the power of nature.
Oh, absolutely.
Spending time outdoors, whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the woods, or just sitting by a lake, can do wonders for stress reduction and your mood.
It really can.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Nature's like a reset button.
It is.
And finally, don't forget the importance of social connection.
Oh, that's huge.
Nurturing meaningful relationships with friends, family, and loved ones is essential for our overall well-being.
It really is.
It's not just about taking care of ourselves physically.
Right.
It's about nurturing our emotional and social needs as well.
Precisely.
Humans are social creatures.
We are.
And those connections are vital for our happiness and longevity. This is starting to feel like a really comprehensive approach to health.
It is.
And that's what's so great about it.
Right.
It's not about obsessing over every tiny detail.
No.
It's about making small, sustainable changes in
Right.
all areas of our lives that add up over time.
Exactly.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
So if someone's feeling a bit overwhelmed with all this information, where should they start?
I'd say pick one or two areas that resonate with you the most.
Okay.
And focus on making gradual improvements there. Don't try to do everything at once.
Right.
That's a surefire way to burn out.
So it's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
And remember, health is a journey.
It is.
Not a destination.
That's right.
It's about finding what works for you and enjoying the ride along the way.
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
It has.
We've debunked myths about cholesterol, explored the carnivore diet, and emphasized the importance of a holistic approach to health.
Right.
Before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
is
there anything else you'd like to add?
Just a reminder that this is your health journey. There's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
Experiment, listen to your body, and discover what truly works for you.
It's amazing how much we think we know about nutrition, only to find out there's a whole other way of looking at things.
Yeah, it really makes you question everything, doesn't it?
It does.
Like the whole food pyramid we grew up with?
Right.
Are those guidelines really serving us well?
Right. We've been told for years that fat is bad.
Yeah.
But now we're learning that healthy fats are crucial.
They are.
For our brains and hormones.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And the same goes for cholesterol. We've demonized this essential molecule for so long.
Right.
Without understanding its true purpose.
It just goes to show how much misinformation is out there.
Yeah.
Even about something as basic as food.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to be critical thinkers and do our own research.
Absolutely.
We can't just blindly accept everything we hear.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to our health.
Yeah, for sure.
So for people who are new to all of this,
yeah,
what resources would you recommend for learning more about alternative nutrition?
Well, there are so many fantastic resources available now. Books like The Carnivore Code by Dr. Paul Saladino and The Plant Paradox by Dr. Stephen Gundry offer in-depth explorations of the science behind these dietary approaches.
What about online resources? Yeah. Any websites or podcasts you'd suggest?
Absolutely. Websites like Meatrex and Carnivore Aurelius are great places to start. They have tons of information, recipes, and even community support.
Right.
And there are countless podcasts dedicated to exploring the nuances of carnivore and other ancestral diets.
It's like a whole new world is opening up.
It is.
And speaking of community, it seems like the carnivore community is incredibly supportive and welcoming.
It really is.
It's one of the most inspiring aspects of this whole movement.
Yeah, I agree.
People are sharing their experiences, struggles, and triumphs. And they're lifting each other up along the way.
It's amazing.
It's like finding your tribe.
Yes.
A group of people who understand your journey.
Exactly.
And that sense of connection can be so powerful when you're making big lifestyle changes.
It really can.
So if anyone's feeling lost or unsure about this whole carnivore thing, Don't be afraid to reach out and connect with others who are on a similar path.
I wholeheartedly agree.
There's a wealth of support out there.
Right.
Both online and in person.
Absolutely.
This has been such an incredible conversation.
It has.
We've debunked myths, explored new possibilities,
right,
and really emphasized the importance of a holistic approach to health.
It's all connected.
Do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember that this is your unique health journey.
Experiment, listen to your body,
Yeah.
and discover what truly works for you.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
And to our amazing listeners.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Like.
Absolutely.
And share it with your friends.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
Right.
And most importantly.
Yeah. Stay curious.
Stay curious.